Our next module considers why people make certain health decisions. In this next module, you will be introduced to different models of health behavior change, which you can consider while going through different topics such as exercise and nutrition, drinking and drug use, and when dealing with a chronic disease. You are halfway through the class, and I hope you found it interesting to consider your stress and coping for Module 2, but welcome to Module 3. So think about your personal decisions. Why have you chosen to ignore a symptom instead of going to the doctor? Or what helped you to keep a New Year's resolution for eating better and working out? Why did you decide you were not at risk when driving after having a few drinks? Or what kept you working or working out when your doctor told you that you needed to rest? This module will help you consider factors for why these things happen using models of health behavior change. I know you'll find it personally interesting, but for many of you, this is very important for your career. You may tell an athlete to stretch and ice an injury, but will they do it? You may tell a patient that they have to lose weight. How could you assess their likelihood for accomplishing this? If you want your client to quit smoking, what are factors you should consider? There's just one Powtoon for this module, so I will be outlining the next 4 topics. You'll first learn about 3 important models of health behavior change, and then we'll have to continually apply these, as well as the biopsychosocial model, and consider contextual factors for specific topics outlined in topics 9 through 11. In this first week, you have a portion of Chapter 6 to read, a health profile, and a quiz. I've also provided a brief mini lecture on health behavior change models. There isn't as much to cover this week, but what we do cover is critical to the next topics. So be sure you are carefully considering the models, how they differ, and try and apply them to your own experiences. This is the learning objective for this topic. You need to compare and contrast theories of health behavior change and apply to a personal health experience. So as you are reading, consider how these models help to inform your understanding of some of your behaviors, but how one may be more applicable than another for certain things. I provided you a worksheet to help you take notes when you read the textbook pages related to this topic. This should help you with the quiz and health profile for this topic. Speaking of the health profile, here it is. Using one model of health behavior change, evaluate how society should help university students with sexual health decision making. Discuss aspects of each part of the model, such as perceived vulnerability or self-efficacy. Provide one article that supports your position or experience. Please remember this must be an article from a primary source, from an academic research study. For the next 3 topics, you will be applying these same models to a variety of health-related concerns in America and addressing the same learning objectives. Across these 3 topics, you should be able to, first, illustrate how the application of health behavior change models helps health psychologists with health-related topics using both theoretical and empirical justification. Second, you will need to identify reasons behind why preventative disease is an issue in America from the biopsychosocial perspective. Topics 9 and 10 on nutrition and exercise and substance use and abuse are very similar in your assignments. You will have a video and worksheet to help you practice applying concepts you read about in the textbook. The quiz and health profile are due on Friday by midnight, and you have a peer post due for topic 10 on substance use in college students on Saturday by midnight. Please discuss this topic in general and don't refer to your personal use for your own protection. For each of these health profiles, you are required to discuss aspects of each part of the model, such as perceived vulnerability, self-efficacy, etc. Provide one research study you find, again that's a primary resource you find in an academic journal, that supports your position and experience. The final topic, topic 11, is a student choice. There are chapters in your book covering cancer, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. You can choose one of these topics based on your personal interest. Be sure to notice the page numbers of the book that correspond to the reading assignment based on your choice, and be sure you're taking the correct quiz based on the topic you choose. You only have to choose one of these 3 topics. With this, you will need to answer the following health profile. How do models of health behavior change in the biopsychosocial framework explain disease progression for the disease you chose? 3 empirical articles must be included with the information presented in the textbook to support your discussion. I want to go ahead and introduce your final module assignment, even though it isn't due until the end of the semester. For your final module assignment, you will need to interview someone on a health behavior change that they attempted and or achieved. You will need to apply topics from Module 3, so think about the types of questions you will need to ask to be sure you can evaluate their health behavior change decisions based on the models presented. Start to think about who you would want to interview. This could be a parent, a roommate, a friend, a family member, and start jotting down questions you think that would be good to ask. Here's a sneak peek to Module 4, as you will also have to apply one of these topics in your final module assignment. This may also help you consider who you want to ask to interview and how you want to construct your questions. For example, if you interview a child, adolescent, or older individual, you may have some developmental considerations that you would like to ask them about. Or if you interview someone who defied the odds, you may prefer discussing resilience. If this was a health behavior change that helped prevent disease or disease progression, then prevention might be the topic you're most interested in. This final module assignment should help you to demonstrate your mastery of these topics while providing you an opportunity to apply the material to something personally interesting to you. So good luck, guys. I hope you enjoy this module.